Welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and this is going to be a 2023 reading wrap up, some of my favourite books of last year and what my reading plans are for this year. Now I'm not going to lie, this is about my 20th take of this video and I am not exaggerating. Anybody else have animals and as soon as you decide to do anything, whether it's go on the phone or speak to someone, maybe you're working from home and you have a meeting, why do they always decide to make noise just as you are busy? And to prove my point, the dog has decided to clean himself. But you know what? I cannot stop filming again, so we're just going to go with it. So I'm going to go through my Storygraph briefly. I don't want this video being too long. And I'm just going to go through basically what Storygraph tells you, because Storygraph is so good, the information it gives you about your reading. So first of all, the amount of books I read was 52, which was 15,187 pages, and I am delighted with that. My goal was 52 books, so one book per week, but I had a terrible reading slump. If anybody knows me, they will know that I had the worst reading slump ever. Like, I didn't read a book for about 3 months, so I am delighted with that. And then so Storygraph does like graphs like this, so it shows you your reading pages per month. So as you can see, a massive jump in September. So that's what basically helped me get back on track with my reading, and that was because I was on holiday. So I was just lying by the pool, reading most days, and it was delightful. Then we've got my most read genres, which I'm actually quite surprised at. I'm not going to lie, normally it's historical, but fantasy was my most read genre, then romance, then LGBTQIA+, then young adult, and then graphic novels. So I dipped my toe into graphic novels this year and I really enjoyed it. Kindle Unlimited has quite a lot of graphic novels on there. So honourable mentions, I read the first two volumes of Saga. Absolutely love Saga, and I just found like lots of cute little graphic novels to read, like the Tea Dragon Society. I read all 3 of them and I just had a really nice time reading those books. My average rating, sorry, my phone is deciding to, so my average rating was 4.09 stars. So that is, for me, that is such a good, shows you how good of a reading year I had. I think I had 1 2-star book and the rest were all 3 and above. So to me that is amazing. Then March was my best reading month, and then as you can see, as in rating wise, and then September I read 5,540 pages. So June was, and then it says June was not your favourite month with an average rating of 2 stars. So that must have been that I read 1 book that was 2 stars. That would not surprise me. But yeah, that's basically my stats of last year. They're just the ones that I'm going to go through with you. And then I'm just going to go through, I think it's 7 books that were my favourites of the year. So one, I'm going to put a graphic here, even though I have the physical copy. It didn't occur to me that I had the physical copy till I was filming this, and I have no idea where it is. So it is Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. I listened to this on audio and I also read some of it, and it was so good. It's about a girl called Mary Yellen. She goes to live with her auntie and uncle at this Jamaica Inn, and Jamaica Inn is dealing with things that are not legal, shall we say, and she gets involved in this somehow, and the narrator who does her uncle's voice is so good, because he gave me the creeps on the audiobook. Like, he gave me the creeps anyway, but on the audiobook he gave me the creeps even more, and I think that just shows you what good writing was. It's set in Cornwall, and the way that Daphne du Maurier describes Cornwall is just so beautiful, and how I imagine it, because I was a massive Poldark fan, so I used to watch Poldark, and it makes me want to go to Cornwall so badly, and the way that she described it the atmosphere was just incredible. So that's the first one. Then we're just going to go at random. I fell into the hype. I was like, I'm not reading this book. It's not going to be as good as everybody says. It's just been hyped up. And then I had the best time reading it. So this is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Follows a girl called Violet as she starts this academy, and basically reminds me of Divergent in some ways. In Divergent, there's the children come of age and then they choose which fraction they want to join. And it's kind of the same in Fourth Wing. Like, you have different parts that you can follow. So she wanted to be a scribe, which was dealing with books and maps and things like that. But her mum, is her mum a general? Her mum's quite high up and wanted her to be a Navari, I think it's called. Yeah, a dragon rider. So that's what part she joins, and it just follows her as they go through training, like I feel like she's 18 in this book. As they go through their training, there is romance in here. It's an enemies to lovers, which is my favourite trope. I love enemies to lovers. And it also has dragons in it, as you can see from the front. So I just had the best time reading this. The best time ever. I'll just apologise, like, I cannot stop this dog making noise. That's him scratching himself now. Then this was the last 5-star read of the year, and it was Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. This is high fantasy. Again, it involves dragons, magic, battles. If you're into any of that, then give this a go. I am just giving a brief synopsis of these books. I'll be honest, my brain is not working today, so I may not remember in-depth details, so I'm just doing very brief. Then we have House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. This was, I feel like it's between these two for my favourite of the whole year. But this follows a girl called Bryce as something tragic happens in her life, and she is trying to find out who a murderer is, and she ends up teaming up with an angel called Hunt while they search for this murderer. And I just like the fact that Crescent City is modern. There's lots of different creatures. You've got fae, angels, werewolves, nymphs. There's all sorts of creatures in there, and it was such a good, fast-paced fantasy. Loved it. Then we have Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwan. This is her first fiction book that she's read. She's well known for The Poppy War and Babel, and I think Babel was my favourite read of 2022. So this just cements her as one of my favourite authors, and I will give anything that Rebecca F. Kwan has written a go. This is basically, you get a look into the publishing world of books, like from the what it's like for publishing books, but it's basically about plagiarism. And this woman, she's sort of friends. They're not like close friends, but she's at this girl's house who is they went to college together, I think, and she is quite a famous author. This Athena, her name is, she dies, and I think her name is June. June is there when she dies, and she steals her manuscript for an up-and-coming book. And it basically just follows her as she tries to pass off this book as her own, and it seems like someone's onto her, and it was such a good read. Like, I think I read this in a day. Loved it. Another book I read so quickly was The Secrets of Heartwood Hall by Katie Lumsden, and Katie is a fellow booktuber, and she is on here, and I would thoroughly recommend reading her book. For a debut novel, it was incredible. Absolutely loved it. Could not put it down. Like, I just wanted to keep reading it. It was so good. But basically it follows a woman called Margaret Lennox as she becomes a governor for a child at Heartwood Hall, and there's definitely a mystery to it. I'm just going to read it says she starts to feel that there's something odd about her new home. There's strange figures in the dark, tensions between servants, and an abandoned East Wing. More troubling is the local gossip surrounding Mrs. Evesham, Louis's widowed mother, who is deeply distrusted in the village. And I think she said she got inspiration from this from Jane Eyre, and I've never actually read Jane Eyre, but I have watched many adaptations of Jane Eyre, and I definitely got that vibe through reading this book. And she has a new book coming out next year, and I cannot wait to read it. So that one. And then last but not least, we have Wayward by Amelia Hart. Now, I love this because there's nothing I love more in a book than a dual timeline, and this has 3 timelines in it. So you have Altha from 1619, and she's on trial for witchcraft. You've got Violet from 1942, something happens to Violet then. And then you've got Kate in 2019, and she's fleeing from London, and she has inherited this wayward house, and she goes and lives there. And it's just, you see how all the stories intertwine between all these women, how this wayward house is involved in the story of all these women. And it was another book that I just could not put down, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you like historical fiction, if you like multiple points of view in a book, multiple timelines, then give Wayward a go. We made it through that part. Oh, I'm so glad, because that's the amount of filming I have done up until then. Oh, I'm so glad I got past it. But anyway, plans for 2024. So I've put my reading goal as 52 books again. I've put my page number as 15,000 books again, because I feel like that's very doable, especially if I don't have a reading slump. So far my reading's going well. It's the 16th of January. I've read 2 books, but one was The Second Crescent City, which was over 800 pages, and then I've read Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and I'm halfway through Outlander, which is also another, I think it's like 860 pages. I'm not choosing small books, but my plans are to really enjoy reading again, which I am doing. Like, I'm absolutely loving it. Like, I just having a great time reading. I want to read something every day, because I feel like it really helps me to switch off from what's going on around me. Whether it's I've had a really hard day at work, or I'm struggling with my studying, or whatever else. Like, I just really enjoy switching off at the end of the day. And sorry, there's another dog out there and he just wants to play with him. I also want to not put pressure on myself for reading, so even though I have 52 books down, if I don't read 52 books, I don't want to beat myself up about it. I just want to make it more of the hobby that it's meant to be. Like, reading shouldn't be stressful. It's meant to be fun. I want to read more epic fantasy books. So I think once I've read Outlander, I'm thinking of moving on to Game of Thrones. I've read a little bit of Game of Thrones, so I want to continue that. I mean, I'm going for all the big books here, it would seem. I want to prioritise finishing series, so making sure that I'm doing that, because I have so many series that I've not read. I would like to do that. I'd also like to mix up my genres a bit and not just focus on one genre, because I do feel like if I just focus on a certain genre, that I do burn out, and I think that's what happened last year. I think I was just reading specific genres and then I just didn't want to read. So I would like to mix up a bit. I think that would help me. And I think that's everything. I think that is all of my goals for my reading. I'll just briefly touch on some YouTube goals. I would like to film a video a week. 1 video a week. That is what I would like to do. If I get more than 1 video, then great, but I would like to prioritise filming at least 1 video a week. I would like to see growth on my channel, but obviously I need to film videos for that. What else would I like? I think that's it. Just to engage more with people, become better at replying to comments, and just, yeah, that's basically my goals for the year. I think I had thought of another reading goal, but it's obviously went out of my head, so we've made it to the end of the video. I finally managed to film. Thank goodness, because I genuinely was about to throw this camera and feel like I've had enough. Like, this is not working for me. The gods have spoken and they're telling me not to film. But we've made it. We've got to the end. If you've made it this far, then please leave me a book emoji, because I've just been discussing books, haven't I? Which I discuss all the time, but you know what I mean. If you would like to hit the like button or subscribe, then please do. And I will catch you in the next video, where hopefully, fingers crossed, there will be less noise from animals. See you in my next video. Bye bye.